Hello everyone, finally I'm back for another FNaF video. Sorry it's taken a while, it's just been school and everything's just uni, it's just been heavy, but now I can finally have enough time to do this video on Barnacle, a full month and a half after it's come out, so yeah. Um, However, I will say it before I start this video and this theory that frankly, this is just my opinion. This is my theory. If because I know that, for example, Matt Pat, he was originally on, he believed Mike Victim, and now he's not believing Mike Victim. And frankly, that's his opinion. And so yeah, I don't really want people to say, "Oh, you believe this theory, you're dumb," because I've seen this a lot in the community where there's just this negativity. It's like, look, I don't care what you think is canon or not canon. It's just my opinion, and we should all be more inclusive. So yeah, and just to let you know that this theory, it's gonna towards the very end, it's gonna be very very interesting and probably the most unexpected theory. So yeah, look forward to that. But first, let's just break down the stories. Then we'll get to the nitty gritty of the lore implications. So the first story, Bunny Call. It's about this father. He's with his family. He's getting a bit sort of annoyed with them, sort of like on this camp type thing. And then he says, "Oh, I'll sign up to the bunny call where in the early hours of the morning, like this thing called Ralpho, little rabbit's just going to go along and just going to give them a bit of a fright." And yeah, after a while, he starts to decides that he likes his family, so he's like, you know what, I want to cancel this. And so he's just going to wait up until Ralpho comes just to say, hey, don't wake them up, it's sorry. And bad news is that Ralpho does arrive but continues to try to scare them. And after six, any, and so the father keeps trying to fend Ralpho off, and actually slams the window on his arm, and it starts bleeding, but it continues on trying to scare them. And yeah, the father thinks that is strange. And then in the end, when it reaches 6 a.m., he leaves. And then it's revealed that, oh no, the person who was playing Ralpho wasn't here today. So who was he facing? So yeah, I think that Ralpho character, it it's sort of similar to Goodstrap, sort of like it's not really William, but it's the representation. It's the sort of like agony behind William, and same thing in Into the Pit. It's the agony of the monster of Spring Bonnie. So yeah, and of course I've heard many different interpretations of it, but that's my interpretation. And yeah, look, I'm fine with any interpretation. Up next, Into the Fish, probably the weirdest ones. Yeah. So in the story, there's an actual reference to an actual fan game that does exist, Springtrap's Revenge. I don't know if um, Scott actually knew about it because it's a relatively unknown, small indie game. But yeah, it's about this VR world, sort of like Help Wanted, and the developer is creating a mini game where there's Springtrap that hunts you. And after a while, the developer plays God a bit, and it's like, oh, I'm just gonna mess with their AI so it's useless. And after a while, I guess the AI gets kind of sick of him, and then all of a sudden, he starts feeling weird, and what do you know? He's pregnant. And little Springtrap pokes his head out and he's like, Daddy. And it's like, okay, what drugs have you been taking, Scott? So, yeah, that's the story. In terms of lore revelations and implications, I guess it's talking more about Help Wanted when Glitchtrap was infesting himself into the host of the beta testers. And I think that a similar thing has happened with Fanny. I don't think she's been influenced by William and has joined his cult. Because if you look at the lore emails of FNaF AR, she actually types out things like how to instill things like self-discipline and self-control, and then afterwards she types help. So Glitchtrap is trying to control her, and that's what Security Breach might talk more about, because everyone thinks that, oh, she's a reluctant follower, she's a follower of his cult, but not quite. She's she's more reluctant because she's trying to fight against it, but Glitchtrap is winning. So yeah, we'll see what happens in Security Breach and if the protagonist can save Vinny. And the man in room 1280. Now, this is probably the biggest story, aside from maybe the new kid, in terms of lore exposition. So, yeah, everyone's been debating about, oh, who's the man in room 1280? Because we know he's got burns and he's somehow still alive. So, people are saying that it could be Michael because at the end of Sister Location Custom Night ending, he's like, I should be dead, but I'm not, and that all scenario. Or it could be William, because there's discussions about how the man was burned and things like he's evil and the man is evil. So yeah, I'm just gonna discuss who it could be, and also there's another interesting thing that not many people have noticed, and again, this will be very different from what most people would assume. So, number one, so the man was on life support but then taken off, but the man continues to live. So, we know that in FNaF 4, the bite victim, he was on life support as a rare Easter egg in FNaF 4, and then at the end we see him, the we see the heartbeat just go beat, just end. However, the man continues to live. So could have BV survived? Could have Golden Freddy continued him to live? Maybe. Or could it be, William Afton? He could have he could have been burnt and he could be on life support but still unable to dive because he always comes back. Again, these both likely conclusions. And then second one. So the man is in rapid eye movement or REM sleep pattern and is constantly sleeping in a nightmare. Again, this links back to FNaF 4, where the protagonist, he might be the bite victim or it might be Foxy Bro. There's still a lot of debate about who that is sleeping, is constantly is in a nightmare, always in a nightmare and can't escape from that. And or it could be about Ultimate Custom Night, where it's like the protagonist has been tortured by the one they should not have killed and is forever in a nightmare type scenario. Now they're free. So it says that there's two entities in the brain fighting for control. So we know that the one you should not have killed is very likely the golden Freddy behind all of this. Because in the story itself, it's very implied that there's this child running around who's controlling all this and making the men in room 1280 continuing continuing to live, and just even though they should be dead, they're just burnt to a crisp. They're still they're still alive because the person behind this, which has curly dark hair, black hair, just like the spirits in Golden Freddy. So the person who's controlling this is Golden Freddy, but who could it be? It could be maybe BV, which again does lead implications about what happened to BV. Could he be the bite victim? Could he be Michael? Or option two, you know, William Afton. He always comes back because Golden Freddy won't let him die. However, I'm just gonna go with option two because I think that it makes somewhat more sense. However, if you go with option two, I'm going to explain who Golden Freddy actually is, and then we're going to look at a closer look at option two. So, what do we know about this person? So, they have curly black hair. This is what we knew from the new kid. And then we know about second description of the appearance in the room 1280. Alligator mask. They are wearing an alligator mask and they also can also appear as a shadow. Now, some people pointed out that that might be, the green mask in the Happiest Day minigame. However, as you can see down there, it's actually not. That mask is actually likely Happy Frog, as the others are, Pig Patch, Mr. Hippo, and Orville. And then there's that blue one that no one really knows who that is. It might appear in future videos. And the third thing we know about is that it seems to laugh and giggle. And if you look at the face, that is very clearly smiling, a little devilish grin. So giggle right next to her, and a grin so feral it acted like a siphon. And Scott Coffin actually commented on the one you should not have killed, and his comments are very interesting. So he says, "My little boy Jason is the face of the one you should not have killed. I'll share the original sometime. He looks sweet as an angel in the original picture, and I turned him into a monster." He calls him a monster. Now that's a very crucial thing. So, and it also explains, it also somewhat gives context to who the one you should not have killed might be. So, who do you think? So, what do I think the one you should not have killed is? Well, let's look at Ultimate Custom Light, where the one you should not have killed is talking, and it provides even more context. So, with the mediocre melodies, they say, "We've only just begun. I'll never let you leave. I'll never let you rest." Now notice weave. We know at the end of the epilogue of Bunny Cole, now that's something I should have pointed out, is that it implies that there's not just one spirit inside with Andrew, there's also something else, it's like a darkness within him, which is the idea that maybe, just like how there is the boy that is controlling the Trafe, and there's Andrew within him, there's also someone within Andrew. And that very likely could be a second spirit, maybe Cassidy, from the logbook that was uncovered. So maybe Cassidy is possessing Andrew, who is possessing the Golden Freddy. Yet again, there is even more evidence. This is how it feels, and you get to experience it over and over and over again, forever. I will never let you leave. So Angel is the one who is angry. However, he is feeling both the anger of the person within him, Cassidy, and he tried to release you. He tried to release us, again, us. But I'm not going to let that happen. I'll hold you here. I'll keep you here, no matter how many times they burn us. Notice they. Now, it's not just Henry, it's also Michael. Therefore, the person in the Ultimate Custom Light who is being tortured is not Michael. So it must be Purple Guy. So two people are against Purple Guy, the Golden Freddy, and then leave the demon to his demons. Rest your own soul. There is nothing left. Calls him a demon because that's what William is. He's a monster. He's the villain. And then the other animatronics provide a bit more context. So Jacko Chica says, "I'm a burning reminder of your misdeeds. Greetings from the fire and from the one you should not have killed." Mangle says he's here and always watching, the one you should not have killed. So Andrew is the one that he shouldn't have killed. But who is Andrew? "I'm your wickedness made of flesh," Nightmare says. And the Nightmare Freddy says, "I'm remade, but not by you, by the one you should not have killed." Nightmare Yon says, "I'm a fearful reflection of what you have created." Because again, William killed Charlie that created the puppet, and Nightmare Yon is a fearful reflection of the puppet. And then the puppet says, "I don't hate you, but you need to stay out of my way. I recognize you, but I'm not afraid of you. Not anymore." Because it's implied at the end of Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria Simulator that Charlie has no hateful body in her body that she's a good person, but the puppet has been corrupted, as we see throughout at the end of the epilogue that they're going around and picking up all the objects like fetch and everything that's been afflicted by Golden Freddy's touch, that they're just taking it and putting it into one place to perhaps get rid of it, because the puppet has been corrupted, but the person within, Charlie, is still somewhat in control. And then with Chica, I was the first. I have seen everything. I've seen him, the one you shouldn't have killed. Now people thought, oh, maybe Chica is the first, but I think not. I think that maybe instead of Chica being the first to die, maybe Chica was the first to be afflicted by the touch of Golden Freddy. Now, of all these clues, I have a very interesting decision of who Golden Freddy is, and it's going to cause some shock. Andrew is the Foxy Bro. But why do I say this? Because the crucial mask, alligator mask, it's Foxy Bro. Foxy Bro is the one that's in the Fazbear Frights universe is wearing an alligator mask, but the normal in the games universe, he's wearing a Foxy Bro mask, and he is this, and he is what BV saw. BV saw his brother being trapped inside of Golden Freddy, and that's what he saw. However, you might be thinking, oh, but that doesn't make sense. What about all the things that happened in FNaF 4? But if we go back to that, it actually backs it up, FNaF 4. So where Fred Pushy says, it's too late, hurry the other way and find someone who will help you. You know what will happen if he catches you? Because, we see here that when he's trapped in the safe room, that's what he saw. That brown stuff coming out of Fredbear, that was his brother's head. And he's crying, he wants to be let out, but he can't. And we see in the Fazbear Frights, the new kid, down low, past his arm, Devon could see a body, just like he thought he'd find when he came back here to check. But it wasn't exactly like he thought he'd find. The body he thought he'd find didn't have blonde hair. This one had curly black hair. And that's what BV's seeing. He's seeing the curly black hair of his brother peeking out of Fredbear, and he's crying because he's being traumatized. And then afterwards we see Foxy Bro taunting and teasing BV because he's a spirit, but he's been corrupted, so he's picking on his brother. And then with the bite of 83, this actually links back to the new kid, because in the new kid, Kelsey is somewhat bringing Devon and his friend to the Golden Freddy suit for them to put it on, because that's how Kelsey works. Kelsey lures them to put on the suit so that they can die. And what do we know? Foxy Bro lures BV to Fredbear so he can die. However, he has remorse. Now you could be saying, oh, but what about the bullies? I think they're projections of Golden Freddy as well, because the Golden Freddy illusions are in the new kid. There are three separate illusions. There is Kelsey's dad, and the curly-haired kid, which is the main inhabitant, Andrew. So that's three. So that's three projections, just like how there are three projections in FNaF in the FNaF 4 minigame with Foxy Bro, the Bonnie Bully, and Chica. However, what about Freddy? Well, we see that he is a real kid. He's just likely wanting to fit in with all the other kids. And then there's one more thing. The end of FNaF 4. So, Foxy Bro says, can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. I'm sorry. Foxy Bro is feeling remorse for killing his brother because, of course, he was afflicted by the anger of Cassidy. He was corrupted, and now he's starting to see he's starting to see past that and starting to see his ways. He's sorry. And then we have Fred Plush, who is Cassidy. And Cassidy says, "We're still your friends. I'll put you back together." Because those are the only two people that spoke to BV when he was dying. And I'd assume that William, his father, would at least talk to him instead of just Foxy Bro, the one who killed him, being there. I mean, wouldn't that make sense? I mean, why would William want the brother who just is nearly killed his little brother? Why would he let him near him without him being there? William should be there, but he's not. It's only Foxy Bro and Cassidy, just like there are two spirits in Golden Freddy, Cassidy and Andrew. So now that that's out of the way, now that at least what I think is the story of FNaF 4, what is in the box? The Foxy Bro mask. Perhaps something's best left forgotten for now. Because the thing is that Andrew is no longer the Foxy Bro. He is Golden Freddy. He is given. He is no longer. He is no longer the child that liked Foxy. He is just a spirit inside Golden Freddy. And you know, that's my theory about it. And yeah, I'm completely happy for you to disagree, but look, I respect any opinion, and that's just how we should re-engineer this community of fairies. We shouldn't be getting into all these sort of debates about, oh, you're wrong, Fox, Michael can't be the bite victim and all that, and we should just be more inclusive. And another thing is that you probably might have noticed or might not have, but I don't think that I don't think Mike Bot is a way that Mike Victim can exist. I think it's more that Golden Freddy Resurrection, because we see in the man in room 1280, Golden Freddy persisted and would not let William die. And I think the same thing happened. I will put you back together. And in FNaF World, we see Golden Freddy say that something bad has happened. I will not let the same happen to you. Fred Push Cassidy does not want BV to die. So, BV lives. He is resurrected. And we see this in Sister Location Custom Night, where Michael gets scooped and the Remnant does not save him, because we see and I know I'm using the novel lore, but the properties could very well likely stay true. We see that Remnant does not save Carlton in the fourth closet. It actually makes him visit the spirit world and then nearly die afterwards. So, was Remnant saving Michael, or was it Golden Freddy who said, and that's why Baby says, you won't die. You won't you, you won't die. Because he won't die. That's the curse of Michael Afton. Foxy Bro um, Foxy Bro killed his brother, and Cassidy won't let him die. So yeah, um, the next Fazbear Frights will be in December, and hopefully I'll have it sometime, have the next fairy video for that sometime in January, and of course we'll have Security Breach, which should be released by the end of the year, and maybe Freddy in Space 3 if there's any lore that comes out of that, but unlikely. So yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah.